Jesus. I'm going to read First Maccabees chapter 10 and continue. I'd love to do other stuff, but I was listening to this girl, and obviously you women just chase Chad. Like, I haven't been with a woman for so long, and listening to you, it's just like you're just chasing Chad. Chad uses you and abuses you, and that's all men. When in fact, it's like 10%. These are all chasing the Chads and the Tyrones and then blaming all men and saying that's all men. I was looking at this thing. She is like, look, I'm going to be honest. She's not that hot. And she's going, oh, men are this, men are that. I'm like, no, you don't go for normal men. You're chasing Chad and Tyrone and saying that's all the same men. Like she was saying, it's not you, it's just your turn. And I was like, that's what we say about you women. And then she started going, these men, they're just this. Oh, hang on. I've got to find it, man. It's real ridiculous, man. Oh, of course, YouTube has to have ads, man. Oh, yeah, YouTube. Oh, yeah, YouTube. I really don't really give a shit. No, I don't care. No. This girl. Look at her. Men do not have your best interest. Instead of working on themselves and elevating themselves, they would. There we go, guys. And she's talking nonsense. This girl's just talking absolute nonsense. Both of them are. For years on end, probably. She's just saying what is it? She's not yours, it's just your turn, but for females. Where it's interesting to say that because majority of women leave men. Yeah, we all know this. Men are leaving women and blowing their lives up. These women are just upset that Chad and Tyrone said no to them, and now they're blaming all men. Has a lot of truth to it. But girls like you call me ugly. You don't talk to me. Well, like this girl, right? He will fuck you over. I know that. Girls like that call me ugly. I'm not good enough. I'm this. I'm all that. While Chad and Tyrone run rings on them, run trains on them. Hurting you, unfortunately, most of them will. So understanding it is your turn, not your turn. Yeah, I'm a Christian lady. Most of the time, I don't think with my dick. I don't masturbate. I don't watch porn. So you're telling lies. Straight out lies, lady. In the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus, lady, you're lying. Okay? In the name of Jesus, you're lying. Okay? Just know you're lying. In the name of Jesus, lady, you're a liar. Get worse and you know that they're about to end, it will not hurt as bad. You don't go with Christians, do you? No, you go with Chad and Tyrone. Chad and Tyrone. Chad and Tyrone, lady. Chad and Tyrone. Yeah, Chad and Tyrone. Truth to this if they're chasing, Chads and Stevens. Yeah, see, he just said it. G-Man just told us. That's probably what's going to happen. That's going to be the outcome. If they're going for just about the other 90% of invisible men, I think they'll have a lot better outcome, but they're not going to do that. That's why it's very easy to make fun of them and have a laugh. See that? It doesn't go near, but I have to go this way. Their arguments because they're making all these choices to chase. I'll go the next one. In a video, which it was a joke, it was a skit by a couple. No, it wasn't. She meant it. She got caught. The gym is making her look a little too good, making her look like she's out of my league. Hands over to the man. He's like handing her ice cream. Listen to the bullshit that comes out of her mouth. Because he wants her to be less beautiful. Because he is. What kind of crap is that? Did you hear what she said? She goes, a man was giving her ice cream because he doesn't want her to be attractive. Are you retarded, girl? No guy would want to make his girl unattractive. Are you retarded? What planet are you living on where a guy goes, I'm going to make my girl look ugly? You cannot make this up. Lady, go back and smack your head into a brick wall because there's no man on this planet that's trying to make his girl ugly. No man. No man on this planet is trying to make his girl ugly. Are you retarded? You go play with your little stupid world. Let's have a look at this girl again. Everyone, this is retard. This is what retard looks like. That's what a retard looks like. She thinks that men want to make their girl ugly. Both into fitness if she kept it up as well. And I'm sure she would be happy if he kept it up too. I don't understand this. So people can't take jokes. This is another episode of left-leaning lunatic. But anyway, I'm over that. Just letting her know she's an idiot. No man is going to make their girl look ugly. That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. You can't make this up, man. What's wrong, women? What's wrong? Because you're getting told that you're hoes and that everything you're saying is a lie? That you're just because men aren't giving you what you want? That's all it is, because men are not going, you're going, I want this, I want this. And men are going, well, I'm not giving it to you. Oh, you're not a man. No, that's not what it means. It just means I'm not giving it to you. You don't get what you want. And then they're trying to say yourself, women, you are the most selfish sex on this planet. Telling people, if you don't do this for me, you're not a man. That's selfish. But anyway, I'm going to read the Bible because I'm a Christian. I don't have sex. I don't masturbate. So all the stuff you say on the internet is just crap. I haven't come in like 5, 6 months. I don't watch porn. I don't fantasize about women. I want one woman, but she's going to have to be pretty holy. Not like yous. And I'm ugly too, so that just cancels me out. Well, you go, oh, hang on a second. No, that's the truth. I'm ugly. Okay? And most of you women aren't flash hot either. Most of you are overweight, got pudgy faces. So you're pretty much in the same book as me. You're ugly. But anyway, getting over that, I'm going to Maccabees 1. Maccabees 1, chapter 10. Alexander appoints Jonathan high priest. Then in the 116th year, Alexander the son of Antiochus, I've done this yesterday. Epiphanes went forth. I'm going to find his name again so I can do it properly. So I can read it so you know what his name is. Epi pronunciation. Oh, YouTube. Oh, we got blah, 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 whatever. No, that's so boring.
We are looking at how to pronounce this name, as well as how to say more interesting and related names from history as well. So make sure to stay tuned and consider subscribing for more learning. How do you say it? Epiphanies.
Epiphanies.
English, it is normally pronounced.
Epiphanies, there you go. Then in the 116th year, Alexander the son of Antiochus Epiphanes went forth and conquered Ptolemais. They made him welcome and he reigned there. But when Demetrius the king learned this, he gathered a huge army and went out to battle him. Demetrius also sent a letter to Jonathan with peaceful words to flatter him. For he said, let us act with foresight to make peace with him before he sides with Alexander against us. For he will recall the evils we carried out against him and against his brother and his nation. So the king gave authority to Jonathan to assemble an army, prepare weapons, and be his ally. He also ordered the hostages in the citadel. He also ordered the hostages in the citadel to be released to him. Then Jonathan entered Jerusalem and read the letter in presence of all the people and those in the citadel. They were very frightened when they heard the king had given Jonathan authorization. I'll get this right, hang on. Authorization to assemble an army. So the men in the citadel returned the hostages to Jonathan, and he brought them back to their parents. Soon Jonathan settled in Jerusalem and began to reconstruct the city. He also told the workers to build the walls to surround Mount Zion with square cut stones for fortification, which they did. Then the foreigners who had been in their fortresses built by the Bacchides fled. Each one left his place and departed into his own land. Only some of Bethzer, who had forsaken the law and the commandments, remained, for it was a place of refuge. I'm going to get a drink. All right, back to continue. When King Alexander heard about the proposal Demetrius had sent to Jonathan and was told about the battles and the courageous deeds done by Jonathan and his brothers, as well as what they had suffered, he said, "Where will we find another like this man? Let us make him our friend and our ally." So he wrote a letter and sent it to him, saying, "Alexander, the king, to Jonathan, his brothers, greetings. We have heard you are a mighty warrior and are suitable to be our friend. So now we appoint you today as high priest of your people, and command that you be called a friend of the king." He also sent him a purple robe and a golden crown. "We ask you to agree with our interest and maintain friendship with us." So Jonathan in the seventh month of 116th year put on the holy robe at the Feast of Tabernacles. Then he gathered an army and stockpiled many weapons. When Demetrius heard these reports, he was disturbed, and he said, "What is this that we have done? Alexander has upstaged us by forming a friendship with the Jews for support. I also will write them words of encouragement and promise them glory and gifts that they may be my support." So he sent them the following message: "King Demetrius, to the nation of the Jews, greetings. Since you have kept your agreements with us and maintained our friendship and have not sided with our enemies, we have learned of this and rejoice. Even now, do continue to keep faith with us, and we will repay you good things for your deeds. We will grant you many prerogatives, prerogatives, and give you gifts." I'm gonna have to learn how to say that word. Let's see how to say it. Prerogatives. Prerogatives. Is it prerogatives? Oh, I hate that. I didn't mean to spell it, but it has to be we have to respell it because for some reason, every time you do something on the internet, it has to think that it knows what you're saying.
Prerogative.
That is prerogatives. Prerogatives. Okay. Many prerogatives and give you gifts. At this time, I am releasing and exempting all Jews from tribute and salt taxes and from crown levies, and all Jews from tribute and salt taxes from crown levies. Furthermore, instead of handing over to me a third of the harvest and half of the fruit of the trees which I am due, I cancel them from this day forward and beyond. I will not extract them from those of Judah, nor from the 3 provinces annexed to them from Samaria and Galilee. From now on, in addition, let Jerusalem and her vicinities be set apart and released from tithings and taxes. I am also releasing my control of the citadel in Jerusalem, and I give it to the high priest, that he may place men in it, whom himself choose to guard it. So every soul of the Jews taken captive from the land of Judah into all my kingdom, I release freely without payment. Let all officials also cancel the duties of their livestock. Moreover, all the feasts, the Sabbaths, the new moons, the appointed days, as well as the 3 days prior to the feast and 3 after the feast, let all these days be established and exempt and released from the Jews in my kingdom. No one will have power to exact anything from them or to trouble any of them about anything. Let the number of Jews in the army of the king be limited to 30,000 men, and let the stipend that is due to all the troops of the king be paid to them. Some of them are to be established in the great fortresses of the king, and some are to be set in positions and trust wherever the kingdom has need. Let their officers and leaders be taken from them, and let them live by their own laws, as the king commanded in the land of Judah. As for the 3 provinces added to Judea from the country of Samaria, let them be considered as one, so it may not be subject to any other authority than the high priest. I have given Ptolemais and the land adjoining at it I have given Ptolemaeus and the land adjoining it as gifts to the sanctuary in Jerusalem. For regular expenses in the sanctuary, I also grant 15,000 silver shekels yearly out of the king's revenues from the appropriate places. Even all the surplus the officials did not pay as in the first years. From now on, they will give for the works of the temple. Moreover, the 5,000 shekels of silver which the officials received every year from the incomes of the sanctuary. These are also cancelled because they belong to the priests who minister there. Further, whoever takes refuge at the temple in Jerusalem or in any of its vicinities because he owes a royal payment or any debt, let him be released and receive back all his property in my kingdom. The expense of rebuilding and restoring the structures of the sanctuary is also to be paid from the king's revenue. Then, too, the expenses of rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem and the fortification around it are to be paid from the king's revenue, and also the rebuilding of the walls in Judea. But when Jonathan and the people heard these words, they did not believe or accept them, because they remembered the great wrongs Demetrius had done in Israel. And how badly he had afflicted them. So they favored Alexander because he was the first to offer peaceable words to them. Therefore, they remained allied with him all his days. Now, King Alexander assembled a large army and took position opposite Demetrius. The two kings met in battle, and the army of Demetrius fled. Alexander took pursuit and defeated them. He fought very hard until sunset, and Demetrius fell on that day. Then Alexander sent envoys to Ptolemy, the king of Egypt, with the following message: Since I returned to my kingdom and have taken the throne of my fathers and established my rule, for I defeated Demetrius and secured control of my country, I faced in war, and he and his forces were destroyed by us. And we indeed have sat down upon the throne of his kingdom. Now let us build a friendship with each other. Give me your daughter in marriage, and I will become your son in law. I will give you gifts worthy of both you and her. Then Ptolemy the king answered, saying, It was a good day when you went back to your father's homeland and occupied the throne of their kingdom. Now I will do for you what you requested. So meet me at Ptolemy's, that we meet, see each other, and I will be your father-in-law as you asked. Then Ptolemy left Egypt along with his daughter Cleopatra and reached Ptolemais. In the 162nd year, King Alexander met him there, and in marriage he celebrated her wedding in Ptolemais with great pageantry in royal manner. Then King Alexander wrote for Jonathan to meet him. So he journeyed with splendor to Ptolemais and there met the two monarchs. He offered them silver and gold and gave their friends numerous gifts. Thus he found favor with them. Then some troublemakers from Israel, lawless men, also gathered against Jonathan to accuse him, but the king paid no attention to them. The king then gave command to remove Jonathan's clothes and robe him in purple, and they did. Then the king seated him with himself and said to his leaders, Go out with him into the midst of the city and proclaim that no one should accuse him concerning any matter, and let no one trouble him for any cause. So it was that when his accusers saw the honor given him according to the proclamation and saw him robed in purple, they fled. Thus the king honored him and inscribed him among his close friends. He also appointed him general and provincial governor. Then Jonathan departed to Jerusalem with peace and gladness of heart. Now, in the 165th year, Demetrius, the son of Demetrius, traveled from Crete to the land of his fathers. When King Alexander heard it, he was very distressed and went back to Antioch. Then Demetrius appointed Apollonius, governor of Syria. Syria? Syria. Apollonius gathered a large army and marched against Jamnia. He sent word to Jonathan, the high priest, saying, And that was clever. All right. Someone rang and hang up. Okay. Where was I? You alone rose up against us, but I have ridiculed and disgraced because you. Why do you maintain authority over us in the hill country? Now, therefore, if you trust in your army, come down against us in plain, and let us judge together for ourselves there. For I have an army of the cities. Inquire and learn who I am. And the others who help us, they tell us there is no place for your foot to stand before us, because your fathers were put to flight twice in their land. Even now you shall not be able to withstand such a cavalry and army in the plain, where there is neither stone nor pebble nor any place to flee. But when Jonathan heard the words of Apollonius, he was moved to action. He chose 10,000 men and departed from Jerusalem, and his brother Simon joined to help him. He took up a position at Joppa, but then men of that city shut its gates, for Apollonius had a band of soldiers in Joppa. So Jonathan attacked them. Then the men of Joppa became fearful and opened the gates, and Jonathan captured Joppa. When Apollonius got word of it, he gathered 3,000 cavalry and a sizable army and marched into Azotus. As through he were going beyond, but he went ahead in the plain, since he had a large cavalry and trusted in it. Jonathan chased him to Azotus, and there the armies joined in battle. But Apollonius secretly had left 1,000 cavalry behind. Jonathan discovered there was an ambush behind him, for they encircled his army and shot arrows at his troops from morning till sundown. But his army stood their ground, and Jonathan had ordered, and their cavalry grew tired. Then Simon brought in his army and confronted the phalanx in battle, for the cavalry had grown tired, and they were crushed by him and fled. When the cavalry was scattered on the plain, they retreated to Azotus, entering Beth Dagon, their pagan temple, to hide. Then Jonathan set Azotus and the surrounding cities on fire and took spoils from them. The temple of Dagon and those who took refuge in it were burned up in the fire. So 8,000 men fell by the sword along with those who were killed by the fire. Then Jonathan left there and camped opposite Ashkelon. And the men of the city came out with great ceremony to meet him. Jonathan and the men with him later went back to Jerusalem with many spoils. Thus, when King Alexander heard these reports, he proceeded to honor Jonathan again. So he sent him a golden buckle, as was customary to give to the relatives of kings. He also gave him Ekron and all its regions as his possessions. First Maccabees chapter 10. It's a big read. There's still a bit to go. Yeah, Alexander the Great, that's who they're talking about. Yeah, you didn't realize he was in the Bible, did you? Well, he's in Maccabees. Yeah, Alexander the Great. But yeah, that's a long read, man. And this next one, it's just as big, just as long. It's just basically the wars that happened in Jerusalem and around. It gives you more thorough information on it. Like, because all you hear about is like King David and then that. And they just miss so much. If you don't have Maccabees, you miss so much of the history of like there's certain kings and all the tribes. Like, they talk about Judah. Like, Judah is basically where Israel is. But it was called Judah. It was never Palestine or Israel. It was just called Judah, the land of the Jews. Yeah, it didn't like the Israelites, right, lived in Judah. And they weren't screaming, Israel, Israel. No, they were the children of Jacob. They were called the Israelites in the land of Judah. I'll show you. I've got the map. I'm just going to take this off. This can be my bookmark. I've shown it a few times. All right, this is what. All right, because that's the land, right? See, from the river of the sea, the name of the place is called Canaan. There's Moab and there's Ammon, right? Now look. Have a look. Ammon's there. You got Ammon. See? Ah. Look at the camera. Look, it's pointing over here. It's over here. The camera's over there. So you have to do it like that. Look at the. See, look where Judah is. Look where Judah is. River to the sea. What's the name of the place? It's called Judah. Wasn't called Israel. It was called Judah. The tribe of Judah. The Jews. Well, they're all Jews, right? They're all Israelites. That's where the Jews come from. Judah. That's why they're called Jews. The 12 tribes of the Israelites. The tribe of Judah. Right? And in Judah, right? Judah. These are the places in Judah. You ready? This is a place in Judah. Gaza. Ashkelon. Lebanon. Lachish. Eglon. Hebron. Judah. Eshtimoa. Bethlehem. Jerusalem. Beth Shemesh. Now, okay, like, it was called Judah, not Israel or Palestine. It was the land of Judah, the land of the Jews, the promised land. But these are like the 12 tribes: Benjamin, Dan, Ephraim, West Manasseh, Zebulun, Asher, Naphtali, East, Gad, Reuben, Simeon, Bathsheba. That's in Simeon. Now I'm gathering this red one that says Hebron. I'm guessing that was where, city of refuge, Hebron. David and Solomon's Jerusalem. Okay, so all them people saying, oh, from the river to the sea, the Palestinians are free. Where? There is no Palestine. It's the land of Judah. And it used to be called Canaan. And I've already shown it. It's called, after Canaan, it was called Judah. Where do you think Jews come from? The land of Judah. The whole place around it is the place of the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel. The Israelites, right? Or whatever they call themselves. The 12 tribes, right? They're meant to all be Jews, I suppose. But Jews come from Judea. That's why they're called Jews. A lot of Israelites some of them aren't even Jews. They could be, I don't know. I have to get a person to explain it to me more thorough, because the name Jew came from, Judea. Jew. Judah. Judea. Where's Judea is not even in. Yeah, it is. It's a smaller place, isn't it? I'll see if I can find it. Nah, it must be Judean. That's probably what Judah means, Judean. Because you got Jericho, Geba, Gibeon, Bethel, Beth Heron, Gezer, Dan, and Bethel's in Bethel's a bit further. Moab, Ammon, Edom. It takes the to reading the Bible, so I'll just do that one. I'm gonna have to do just chapter by chapter because it takes so much out of you reading it. Yeah, the Asian in Rambo 2, she's the girl that's in Showdown in Little Tokyo. Like she went and got breast implants and made herself look pretty hot. Like but I reckon she looks hot in Rambo too. She's got that little Asian figure. I like Asian girls, but I only want one girl. Plus, I was married to an Asian girl, so I reckon they're pretty. Pretty, and most of the time they're very traditional, so they like being a woman. And you go, oh, cooking? No, traditional woman is one that likes being a woman. Dresses like a woman, acts like a woman, doesn't act like a hoe, dresses and acts like a woman. That's what a traditional woman is. She acts and looks like a woman. It's not about her cooking and cleaning. It's about her being a woman, embracing that she's a woman, being one. Being a man is not being a sleaze. That's not being a man. A lot of men like to think that, no. And being a slut is not being a woman. It's being a slut. But anyway, I'll do some more reading later on. It takes it out of me because it's reading. But praise Jesus, God bless, lots of love. Jesus is God.